This is the kind of bass I grew. This was a monster when I was a boy in Red River County.
Yes, sir.
Before the Florida strain, you know, this is what we were targeting.
And we are filling feeders today. We are doing land management stuff, and we are charging batteries on trail cameras. We are doing all sorts of things today.
Let's start cooking some camp cabbage rolls, something you can do at home, and 45 minutes from start to finish, you can have some great cabbage rolls.
Welcome to A Sportsman's Life. We're so glad you tuned in to join us for another exciting real-world outdoor adventure right here on A Sportsman's Life.
Hi friends, it's Luke Clayton. What do you say we go fishing? And let's go fishing about 3/4 of a mile that way. A good friend of mine has a deep gravel pit. It must be 30 or 40 years old, but it's probably 15 foot deep in the middle in a lot of areas, full of native Texas bass. Now I've got a spinnerbait rigged up right here, lethal on these bass, and I've got a little light set up behind me. I'll show you that in a minute. But you know, I grew up in northeast Texas, up in Red River County, and well, in 1960 I was 10 years old. So that was before the big lakes were built. Actually, the only lakes we had to fish were Caddo, which we seldom went to, and Texoma. We would go up in southeast Oklahoma and fish a lot, but what we did mostly was fish in farm ponds and for native bass. Back in those days, a 5-pound bass was pretty much unheard of. We'd catch a few, but not many. But my parents were serious bass fishermen. My mother used to use an old steel fluger, level wind, knuckle busting reel, and that's all they did for pastime is fish. On the weekends, we'd be trot lining somewhere, usually in southeast Oklahoma. But fishing in farm ponds to me is a special deal. I absolutely love fishing in a good, well-stocked farm pond. And where we're going, a neighbor of mine lets me hunt and fish on his land. Killed a lot of hogs over there. There's some good deer over there. Now another good friend of mine, Kenneth, who's been with us before on this show, is going to bring his John boat over. He's got this little John boat rigged up for what I call pond hopping. I think he's got a couple of them, a 10-footer and a 12-footer, trolling motors. It's pretty convenient, comfortable seats. But we're going to take these boats and or one of them, I'm not sure which one he's going to use, come over early in the morning, and I'm going to take you with us out there to catch these fish. I don't think we're going to catch anything big, but I bet we're going to catch a bunch of eater bass, largemouth bass, and yes, we're going to eat a few of them. A lot of people think it's sacrilegious to eat a largemouth bass, but in a farm pond situation, you really need to take a few of them out to keep keep balance in the pond, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So join us out on the water. I'm going to try to show you exactly what's going on. This is one rig we're going to use. Just good spinner baits are usually lethal in farm ponds, but I've got one that's really a lot of fun. This little dude right here, you hook about a 2-pound bass on this. Beetle spins are absolutely killers. We'll probably catch more fish on this bait, this smaller spinner bait, than that bigger skirted spinner bait right there. Well, let's go pond hopping, folks. What do you say? Hop in with me. Kenneth will be over here in a little bit. We'll get out there and we'll get with them. Kenneth, it looks like we're going to catch a bass out here, buddy. What do you think?
I can't see how we're not going to.
The water
looks good.
Let's go over here and look at your boat.
All right.
Folks, I call this the ideal pond hopper.
This is the pond hopper.
Let me get up here so we can take a look.
The pond hopper.
Like most stuff Kenneth does, it's all rigged and ready. Got your trolling motor. I tell you, a plus is these comfortable seats on this thing.
Yeah, that makes a difference when you're out there for a couple hours.
Yep. And what did we use last time? We used spinner baits a lot.
I think we caught quite a few on spinner baits, and it seemed like we did some plastics on the bottom.
Yeah, soft plastics. I've got some. Well, you do too. You have some of both. Well, I say we got to give this rig a name. I don't know, pond hopper.
I like pond hopper.
Pond hopper. Let's put the pond hopper in. Launching will be as easy as folks is just sliding it in right here. So we'll put it in the water. Here we go.
Great.
Do it.
We are launched.
How easy is that? Let's go fishing.
Let's go fishing.
Looks fishy, doesn't it, folks? This is an old deep gravel pit, and it's real deep down on this end. It probably goes back, oh, I'm gonna say 300 yards way back in here.
Did we get 19 feet or 21 feet last time on that far end? I think we checked it, and it was,
Yeah,
it was quite surprising.
Very deep. Yeah, it's and it's amazing. It's just a natural fishery, isn't it? You fished here since you were a boy.
So I was a long time.
Yep.
A long time. But check out those cattails, man. Those are beautiful.
Yeah, boy. Well, let's jump in.
Let's do it.
We're on the prowl we are tracking bass now, folks. This little machine is just scooting along. Look at that. I'd rather be right here than just about anything, any place I can think of right now. This is the kind of bass I grew. This was a monster when I was a boy in Red River County.
Yes, sir.
Before the Florida strain, you know, this is what we were targeting.
That's just a native largemouth bass.
That's
correct?
a native bass. Yep. Here he goes. Go back in there, buddy. Wham, there he goes. Let's get another one. What do you say? Okay, got one. Something on here. It's not big, Kenneth, but it's a farm pond bass, maybe.
Well,
Whoa,
fish
he's pulling a little drag. It might be better than what I thought.
Oh, he's coming under the boat, look.
Yeah. Whoa, he broke my
off.
beetle spin off. Folks, that you saw the bass.
I didn't see a bass.
That was about an 8-pound bass.
I love it, look.
This is a big fish right here. And I've got a very light tackle, so I'm gonna try to tire him out. Oh, there he is, right at the boat. Oh, come back, buddy.
That's a good fish, look. I actually seen it, so it counts.
Yeah. There he is. Now that is what we would call a beautiful farm pond bass. Beautiful farm pond bass. On the old farm pond bait.
You know, that thing's got a lot of yellow in the color. It's a beautiful fish. Look at that.
He does.
Wow, that thing's beautiful.
Pretty fish and a hard fighter. I tell you what, that was a fighter right there. What can I say?
There ain't a whole lot to say. Other than Kenneth hasn't caught one yet.
Oh, well, you've hooked him. You're going to get one. Back to fishing. What do you say?
All right.
Oh, there he is, right at the boat.
Good job.
Well, I'm going to tell you something about a bass. We call these yearling bass. That's what I've grown up calling a yearling bass. These are good eating, and in a farm pond, this pond is probably, what, 6 acres, Kenneth?
Probably.
Maybe,
Yeah.
5 or 6?
Sure.
Long. You need to take some of these bass out. You do, just to balance the pond. We're going to let all these go simply because we don't have time to clean them today.
Oh,
You got him on up here.
He's pulling on it.
Whoa,
Strong little fish.
that's a good one, yeah.
Strong fish. I can't get him, Luke. That looks like a foul hook, this one. Let me get him.
Farm pond fishing at its best.
At
Oh,
its
we gotta see that fish.
Yeah, I foul hooked him.
That's okay. Hold him up. Let our friends look at a nice little farm pond bass. Yes, sir.
There we go.
All right. Time for me to get another beetle
Better
spin.
get out there and catch one, Luke.
I'm on it. There you go.
Nice little fish. Nice.
One right there. Not a big one, but a plenty feisty one. Let's bring him over. Get him on the left side of the boat. No, what an acrobat too. Look at that thing.
He's coming up in my lap, Luke.
We're gonna put him right on you.
That's a good looking fish.
Pretty fish, isn't he?
Oh, it is.
That's about a pound and a halfer. Pound and a halfer. Another one bites the dust.
There it is.
There we go. Hasta luego.
Got one, Luke.
Got one?
Got one.
Ooh, I see that rod bent. Whoa, oh. Such it is in fishing in the farm ponds. You catch some and you lose some. Is that right?
That's it.
Well, but you're still smiling.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm going again.
Brought to you by Dallas Safari Club, Conservation, Education, and Hunter Advocacy. Hornaday, accurate, deadly, dependable. Taurus Firearms, maker of the Raging Hunter. Stealth Vision, high-tech precision-driven equipment tailored for the modern hunter. Hello friends, good morning. Welcome to A Sportsman's Life. We are here at my place in East Texas, just outside of Yantis near Lake Fork, and we are filling feeders today. We are doing land management stuff, and we are charging batteries on trail cameras. We are doing all sorts of things today. But it is about 6:15 in the morning. Get an early start because it gets hot. No one likes to fill feeders when it's 95, 100 degrees. It's just too hot. So we do it here early in the morning. So we are topping our feeders off, our corn feeders off, with Vineyard Max. This is their deer attracted product, and I'm telling you what, this stuff works great. It's got grape skins in it, and dried grape skins. Let me take a look. That's what it looks like right there. But we were about to top off this feeder and call it a day, call it a weekend. We've been working, mowing, we've done all sorts of fun stuff, but that's part of land management. So it's not always hunting, fishing, although we were down at the creek and my Vineyard Max feeder went off, and let me show you a little video there. We had some fun. My wife and I just sat there, didn't have a fishing rod. We just sat there and we watched these guys. Man, it was so much fun. So I know the next time I go, want to go catfishing, I know right where I'm going to go, thanks to my Vineyard Max fish feeder. So, all right, let's get this thing filled, and well, it's already filled. Let's top it off with our Vineyard Max. There, that'll work down through there, and I tell you what, those deer come in, they love it. I've got a trail camera set up right over here that sends pictures to me on my phone, and I can see what's going on, so I know we're going to see a bunch of deer here. Stay tuned. I'll even show a few of them to you guys as we get them. So, all right, back to work. I got more feeders to fill. Got to get it done before it gets too hot. Just a little tip for you friends. We're just going to clean the plate here for my solar panel, and I'm going to fill this feeder, but man, be careful. Wasps find the craziest place to build their little nest. I just got stung on the finger, and I don't want you to get stung, so be careful. Check it before you move it. Of course, we're going to top it off with our Vineyard Max. Topping them all off. Filling feeders today here, friends. Whew. It's a workout, I promise you. Oh yeah. Right to there. That's what I'm talking about. Well, sometimes, friends, this is what you have to do when you're working on feeders. This feeder is not a Vineyard Max feeder, so there are a lot of spot welds on here, rivets, and water gets in them. They just do. That's why we have Vineyard Max feeders. We're slowly replacing some of these, but man, you go fill feeders and you end up having a full day project. So we got more feeders to fill. Let's get this set back up. Got the last of the gunk out. I want you to take a look at that. Yeah, that's what you don't want in your feeders. Riveted feeders, telling you, that's what you end up with. So, a testament to Vineyard Max deer feeders. They don't do this. All right, back to work. Well, the hogs have been hard at it. We're at the last feeder we're filling today here, folks, here at my place in East Texas, and this one always requires a ladder to get to. But today, boy, I don't know. Look at this. They have been hitting it. Looks like we are out of corn. Well, we wrapped up about 10 o'clock in the morning, and it was starting to get mighty warm outside. We loaded 1,250 pounds of corn into the feeders at the ranch. We topped all our feeders off with Vineyard Max deer attractant, and I know for sure we're going to see lots of game coming to these feeders. So stay tuned in future episodes here on A Sportsman's Life, and I am sure we will have plenty of videos showing some of the animals coming in to our feeders. A Sportsman's Life is also brought to you by Mossberg, American Built, American Strong, The YO Steakhouse, Catch and Release Apparel, AGM Global Vision, your go-to for thermal hunting scopes and spotters, Pyramid Air, your one-stop shop for everything air guns.
Good morning, sports fans. This is Bill Carey with Striper Express with your fishing tip on Sportsman's Life. I've got good tips this week. This is the water separator made by Sierra. This is a 10 micron filter. Since they came out with those, we get great results. Clean gas. It's hard to buy clean gas around the lake. This right here is Startron. It's a fuel additive. Comes in a lot smaller bottle. We use a lot of this in our boats. This is a concentrated formula. It reduces ethanol, sludge, takes water out. This stuff's just incredible stuff. Very, very concentrated. But this is what we use. And grass grows around our trailers when we started using these. It's incredible. So get you some Startron fuel additive and the Sierra water separator, and you'll be in business just like Striper Express. There's your fishing tip for this week. Thank you, and go catch a fish.
A special thanks to these fine sponsors, Vineyard Max Deer Products, and the Anchor Inn and Marina on beautiful Lake Tawakoni, 1 hour east of Dallas.
Well, folks, it's Luke Clayton, and it is now time to do a little outdoor cooking, spoon in hand. We're going to make some camp cabbage rolls, and I think you're going to be impressed at how easy it is to make them. I've got the cook stove going out here in the little, this is my cabin behind the house where I do a lot of my recording and some of my outdoor writing. But let's start cooking some camp cabbage rolls, something you can do at home. In 45 minutes, you can, from start to finish, you can have some great cabbage rolls the easy way. So let's get going. So folks, making the camp cabbage rolls, as I call them, is way easier than the way your grandmother or your mother used to make them cook them in the house. They tie up little, cabbage leaves with thread and all that kind of stuff. No, we're not going to do that. This is way easier. What you're going to need is some V8, spicy V8 juice, You're going to need a head of cabbage and some good spicy breakfast sausage. Now, we've got some Kubi's spicy breakfast sausage and some jasmine rice and a pot, of course. So what we're going to do, we're going to mix this, make some little sausage balls and mix this raw rice in with it. We're going to chop the cabbage up, and then we're going to cover everything with spicy V8 juice. I'm going to tell you what, this is way, way easier than the conventional method, but it could be made at camp. Oh, in 30, 40 minutes you can have this ready. So let's blend all the ingredients and get them in the pot. What do you say? So my friends, here is the spicy sausage, breakfast sausage with the jasmine rice mixed in, little sausage balls. Folks, it doesn't get a lot simpler than this, but you're talking about tasty. Let's grab this spicy V8 juice here and let's pour that in. We're just basically going to cover the meatballs with this. It's about right there. And I'll probably add just a little more rice and probably put a little more cabbage on top of this. We'll put a lid on it and let it cook for about 30, 40 minutes, real slow. And then we're going to have some of the best, most tasty cabbage rolls, camp cabbage rolls that you've ever eaten. So let's start cooking. So we're just getting our camp cabbage rolls up to temperature. You can see the water beginning to simmer a little bit. We'll put a lid on these, folks. Let them cook about 30 minutes, and by then that sausage, those sausage balls, will be well done. You might note that I sprinkled a little more jasmine rice on the top here. So we'll put a lid on this rascal and let it start cooking. Let me just put a meatball over here to show you the finished product. Let's cut into that and let you take a look at it. Look at that. If you look really close, you can see the rice in there. That is some prime eating and easy to make at camp. Folks, I wish you were here. You could dig in with me. Folks, this segment was brought to us by Gearhead Archery, Smoke Intex Electric Smokers, Snaplock Hunting Blinds, YO Ranch Headquarters, Ultramatic Feeders, and Catfish Pro. Tune in next week for some more real-world outdoor adventures right here on A Sportsman's Life.